The Steam sale stars have aligned this week, and we have 4 publisher sales, a festival, an anniversary sale, and a game jam, all here in the next few days. I've gone through and tried to find the actual deals, thanks to my new browser extension, and we're going to go through and check out what's good on sale right now, and try to find some good stuff. So starting with the first publisher sale being Stardock. Here, up to 90% off. They say the first one we're going to hit to, though, is Sins of a Solar Empire 2. This is an RTS, build yourself a space empire. It came out here last year, and it is down 35% off, the lowest it's ever been, at $32.49 here by old Stardock. Next up, we got Galactic Civilizations. These, of course, all Stardock. Came out a couple years ago. These are both like still bringing out DLC, and the DLC's on sale as well, but this one's 50% off at the moment here for the sale. And most of these are only in there for the next few days. This Stardock sale is up till November 6th, though. They also have just released Elemental Reforged, which just came out here on the 23rd of October. This is their new, like, Master of Magic style thing. You may be familiar if you remember Elemental, or like Fallen Enchantress. This is similar to that. Build yourself a fantasy empire, turn-based Civ fantasy style. It's at its release deal at $20, 20% off right now on Steam. Speaking of Fallen Enchantress, Elemental, this one came out way back in 2013. A really good, like Master of Magic, Age of Wonders style thing, if you want to think of it that way. That has been out for a long time, but it's at 80% off. I just recently discovered this one a few years ago, but it is $5 at the moment. It's definitely worth $5. And finally, on the Stardock deal, we have Ashes of the Singularity, Escalation. Came out here back in 2016, but is down to $3 at the moment, 90% off. Next up, we've got the Fireshine Games publisher sale. These are the folks who made like Core Keeper, Lens Island. Those are both on sale. I'll scroll down to show you there, but they are not the cheapest they've ever been. They've been on sale cheaper than that. However, Shadows of Doubt, this is, you kind of take the role of a private investigator. Very open world mystery solving thing that came out here last year, and it is half off at the moment at $12.49. They also have Reka, Ashes and Ancestors is the new update. This is a you're a witch in a sort of open world. Learn to become a witch, build your witchy house, and stroll the Slavic countryside here. This is at $12.99, and it is 35% off at the moment. This is the last of these the Fireshine folks. This is These Doomed Isles. It's a single player game, but you're competing. Competitive is the word I'm looking for. Island building, city builder thing. Came out here last year. And it is 75% off, $3.74. Dirt cheap for this one. And that's all of Fireshine. But we do have to mention the Event Horizon publisher sale. They have made a lot of stuff, but they have made 2 things that are incredibly cheap at the moment. And that is Dark Envoy, which came out here in 2023. It is at 69% off, puts it at $9.29 for this one. This sort of like a CRPG. In this like magic and guns themed setting, if you're into like that kind of Baldur's Gate style of thing. That's what Dark Envoy is. And then they also have Tower of Time. They made even further back than that, back in 2018, another CRPG. Grab yourself a party, jump into this again. Fantasy meets like a little bit of a sciencey kind of a thing going on with it, science fiction, and it is extra dirt cheap, 92% off, puts it at $1.99 for this one. Now, we're going to go to the festival. We got the Roguelike Celebration 2025 going on for the October 25th and 26th. And in addition to that, they've got like talks and things going on with Twitch and YouTube, but they also have sales, and that's what we're here for. So we'll start with Midboss. Midboss came out in 2017, and these are all, well, not all of them, but this is a traditional roguelike. I think Rogue or Adam, those kinds of things. You progress through the dungeon turn-based style, and it is down at 67% off, puts it at $4.94 for this traditional roguelike. We got Wildermyth. Wildermyth was one of my favorite games back in 2021. It was I think I might have put it as my favorite game of the year, and it is sitting at 35% off, puts it at $16.24. Not the lowest it's ever been, but it's a quarter away from the lowest it's ever been. This one again, build yourself a party, and goes into this sort of turn-based tactical style of battles. But really, it kind of focuses on the storytelling. Storytelling is a big part of this game. That's why I liked it so much. Next, we got Brotato. 26,000 reviews. by Blobfish. This one came out in 2023. It is on sale for $3 at the moment. It's not an expensive game to begin with, but $3 is better than $5, or so that's something. But anyway, there's Brotato is super cheap right now, and Zero Orders Tactics is also in that list. This is a like a turn-based tactical game, but much more puzzle. I think is probably a better way of describing it. A puzzly turn-based tactical game over here by Paulundra. Came out last year, and it is 42% off. Puts it at $6.95 at the moment. And these sales, I think these are sale like this one's November 4th. They're kind of bouncing around, but the celebration is just for the next couple of days. But some of these sales are going on longer than that. Chiron Gate here, for instance, is only going till the 27th, and this is a text-based exploration. If you think of it like a Star Trek text-based adventure. You assemble your party, you go examine planets, explore, and then send your party down to go check out the place and hopefully not get maimed by Space Goblin Games. And it is half off at the moment for $5. The last one we have in the Roguelike Fest, which I wouldn't think it's a roguelike, but it's in the Roguelike Fest part, is the Wandering Village. This is a city building game. Not a roguelike, but you're building a city on the back of a wandering monster. Came out this year, as a matter of fact. And it is 50 cents away from its historical low, which was earlier this year. 40% off, puts it at $18. Good game, and it just came out by Strafon. Speaking of roguelikes, well, that last one wasn't speaking of roguelikes, but the rest of these are speaking of roguelikes. We had a game jam here, Rogue Temple's Fortnite, they called it. And a lot of folks came in for a traditional roguelike. Had 7 days to make a game. And this happened back in September, but through October, there was voting on it. And so all the submissions are here on itch.io. I'll have a link, and you can check all these out. But you can also go to results, and you can check them by rankings. So Hellbreak Zero here is ranked first, and Die is number 2. And you can kind of run down the list and check out some free traditional roguelikes if you want. That was sort of one of the rules of this one. It had to be a traditional roguelike. So no city builders on the back of a monster for this one. But a whole bunch of free traditional roguelikes if you want to check some of these things out. Back to Steam, we have the Team17 Hidden Treasures sale. Team17 makes things like Heroes of Hammerwatch 2. Came out here this year, as a matter of fact, beginning of this year. An action RPG. Basically, you get yourself a party-style action RPG, and with online co-op, it is down at 50% off at the moment for $8.99 at the moment. They also have Dredge. This one is a single-player fishing adventure, which doesn't sound very exciting, but it's a fishing adventure set in this like eldritch setting, and so you've got octopus and freaky things that are going to be. You're trying to catch these strange things in this. I don't know if it ever says it's set in Maine, but it's kind of that New England setting there. Came out in 2023, and it is at 60% off right now. Puts it at $10. We also have Overcooked 2 if you're looking for like a good multiplayer game. I guess you can play single player with this. I don't think I have, but it is a good multiplayer game if you've got like what's cooking chaos is what they call it, and I think that sets it pretty well. Everyone has a job, make it's kind of like a Mario Party kind of a game, but it is cheap. 75% off right now. $6.24 as its historical low. In fact, all of these except for the couple that I mentioned are at their historic low, by the way. Next up, we got Settlement Survival. We have a city building game. This is very much inspired by Banished in that grid-based. Even the like the setting and the time period, it's all built around sort of that Banished style. Go out into the wilderness, build a town, survive. And it is at 66% off. Puts it at $6.79. And we have the last one on the list is Monster Sanctuary. Come out 2020. This is a monster taming Metroidvania. So you got to run around, Metroidvania style, but you're also collecting monsters up, and depending on which monster you get, you can do different things to progress through the puzzle. But this is 75% off right now. Puts it at $5. And the last thing I have to mention, I wanted to mention this because I thought it was funny that it was the 44th anniversary sale of Wizardry. And so if you want to play one of the Wizardry games, there is some good deals here on Steam anyway for the Wizardry stuff. But there's your list of Wizardry games. Also, I should mention Epic Games is also having their Halloween sale right now. And of course, don't forget about Fanatical. They're having some sales as well. if you are willing to jump off of Steam to pick up some games. But that's what I got. That is the 4 publisher sales, the festival, the anniversary, and the game jam, all going on here for at least the next couple days. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.